I have no interest in this whatsoever. Why did I buy it? I don't know. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing really well. My name is Hannah and I'm an author from the south of England. On today's video, I am going to be having a pretty major sort out. My TBR over the last 12 months or so has gotten far too big. And I've kept hold of a lot of books that I don't really think I'm going to end up reading. So today we're going to go through some of those, unhaul them and then take them to the charity shop. Okay, first up, I have a couple of pretty big bags. I'm hoping they're going to be enough. If they're not, I'm definitely going to have to make more than one trip because I'm just not that strong. So before we get started, I thought I would give you a quick tour of my very messy bookshelves. I don't know how they managed to get this messy. I feel like I'm that kind of person actually, that everything just gets that messy. It's just kind of who I am. So here are a couple of shots of some random stuff on my bookshelves. Look at these horrifying little clay creations. Me and my other half tried to make each other in clay. He made me as something that looks like it might be from Coraline, and I made him and he looks like either one of those like Einstein bobbleheads from Night at the Museum or a lion. We are artistic talents. And then we have more old tumbly over books and more down there. And more, and they're in absolutely no order whatsoever. We've got a couple of random ones on, this is like DVDs, but there's a couple of random manga books on there. Get some more over here, and some more down there. And then this whole bookshelf has not actually really been touched, so I'm quite intrigued to go through it and see what we actually want to keep. So I have 3 books from the top shelf that I am on the fence about. A couple of them I'm definitely going to get rid of. One I'm a bit of a maybe, so I think I'm going to put that one to one side and decide a bit later. But we have The Passage, which is this mammoth thing, by Justin Cronin. I don't think I'm ever going to get around to reading this. I'm quite easily intimidated by really large books. And yeah, I don't know, I just don't think I'm going to read it, so someone else will enjoy this way more than I will. So that is going into the bag. Second up we have Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham. I hated it. I really wanted to like it. I really thought I was going to like it. I love Little Shop of Horrors, though obviously I knew it was nothing like that. But yeah, didn't do it for me. Thought the concept was really daft. The plant thing was fine, but the blind meteorite, everyone killing themselves because they couldn't possibly live as being blind. No, not buying it. Didn't enjoy it. No, this can go. And the one I'm on the fence about is Deity by Matt. Oh dear. I don't want to butcher his name. It's Deity by Matt Weslowski, I hope. I'm not sure about this. I might keep it. It looks pretty interesting. It's got some like script in it. It's I don't think it's an epistolary, but it looks like it. Oh, actually, it could be. It's got a couple of like what look like maybe letters or something in it. This is going in the maybe pile. Okay, quite a few going on this shelf. To clarify, there's probably going to be more on this bookshelf that I get rid of than any of the other shelves, because the other shelves are kind of, sounds weird to say it, but they're like more established, if that makes sense. Like I've had the books for a long time, I've read a lot of them. They're like my actual collection. Whereas a lot on this shelf is either new stuff, stuff I've been given, stuff I've picked up at charity shops, stuff I've got in book boxes, etc, etc. So, you know, just kind of picked up, didn't necessarily choose it. So that's probably why I'm going to give away a lot more on this shelf. I'm not just literally going to dump my entire book collection, but I do need to get rid of some. So first up, because there's quite a few on this shelf that are going. We have Basilisk by N.M. Brown. I'm just not going to read it, I'm not going to lie. Just, no, it doesn't really interest me. See ya. This one is a little bit hard to give away actually, because I've read reviews of it and I've seen some of my friends have read it and they've really enjoyed it. And that is Maggie's Grave by David Sodergren. I mean, it does look cool, but I just don't think I'm going to get around to reading it, and I don't see the sense in me holding on to it on my bookshelf for years and years for me to never read it, when I could take it to the Oxfam bookshop and then someone else will take it and they'll enjoy it way more than I have. So this one's going. The next one, there's going to be a few of these. I don't know if I should keep hold of them and maybe see if Richard wants them before I take them to the charity shop. But the James Herbert Sepulchre, I'm very aware that I am an aspiring horror author, and what I'm about to say might not do me any favours. I don't like James Herbert. I don't like his style of writing. I think it's really fusty. I don't like it. So, no. But Richard, I will, if you want this, you can have it. The next is, this is a book I think I was given like quite a few years ago when I first released number 47, and it's called Wanna Be a Writer You've Heard Of. I'm not gonna lie, there was nothing in here that you can't find online for free, and it didn't really do it for me. But someone that's maybe not as comfortable on YouTube and on the internet as I am, who is an aspiring author, will probably really benefit from this. So off to Oxfam it goes. And the last one is Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. This is actually a bit of a cheat. The only reason I'm getting rid of this is because I've got another one. I actually really like it. And I'm not really into reading sort of non-fic. I like non-fiction, I don't like autobiographies normally. So this was an exception to that rule. But I do already own it, and somehow I've ended up with 2. So this can definitely go to the charity shop. And they're going in the bag. Apart from a James Herbert one, just in case Richard wants it. Next shelf is done. We have 4 from this shelf to get rid of. I have Beyond the Waves by CJ Bateman. Haven't actually read this. Local author. It's just been on my TBR for too long, and I just don't think I'm ever going to get round to it, so someone else can enjoy this one. We have Will Carver, Nothing Important Happened Today. I haven't actually read this, but I have read his other novel that I forget the name of, which was silly of me because you should read this one first, really. But I didn't really gel with his writing style. I'm kind of wondering if I should keep hold of it, just in case, because I could try it again. What am I doing? Should I keep hold of it? Oh, I don't know. Everyone really raves about Will Carver, so I don't know if I was missing something quite major when I was reading the other one, the name of which I forget. But it wasn't really doing it for me. But I do wonder if I should just give them another go, because sometimes you're just not in the mood to read certain things, and I clearly was not in the mood to read sort of a sarcastic horror, which actually sounds really good when you say it out loud, but it just wasn't doing it for me at the time. So I'm gonna put this back in the maybe pile and think about it a bit more. So next up is Sean Hutman's Omnibus, Erebus and Victims. I think something I've learned, having received the Abominable Book Club box for over a year now, is that the secondhand book for me is always a real gamble. And I get it, that's part of the fun of having the secondhand book. Some of them I've loved, like Richard Matheson's Hell House is up there with one of my favourite horrors now, and I would never have read that if I didn't receive that in that box. So forever grateful for that random pick. However, I have learned I don't like James Herbert. I don't really like kind of, I don't know what to call this, like old school, cheesy 70s, 80s, 90s horror. Doesn't really do it for me. I like the more modern stuff. Or Richard Matheson, which clearly is not modern. But yeah, this isn't my bag, and I'm sure someone else will like it more than I do. And then speaking of James Herbert, I have James Herbert's Moon, which, as cool as the cutout cover is, I don't like it. Richard, hit me up if you want it. Hi again. Okay, I have 1 definitely and 3 maybes. Oh, so the definitely is unfortunately another secondhand Abominable Book Box one. And it is The Howling 2, The Return. Unfortunately, I don't have number 1. I'm not going to buy number 1. So there's not really much point keeping number 2. It's in the bag. Next up, I fear that people may come for me for this one. This is very much a maybe. I don't think I really gave it a fair shot. And I am trying now in 2021 to get more into fantasy. So I actually think I'll probably keep this one, but I wanted to share it anyway, and that is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I just couldn't get into it. I think I only ended up reading like 50 pages. That's a poor effort. Even for me, that's a terrible effort. Yeah, it didn't really grab me. But then I think when I tried to read it was when it was at the beginning of lockdown 1, so like this time last year, and I was very much at the stage where I just needed something to like entertain me, just take my mind off everything, put me in the middle of a thriller somewhere so I can pretend I'm on a beach. And this was not that. So I think this is partially my fault because I read it at a time where I wasn't ready to read it. So I'm going to keep hold of this one and give it its fair shot. Another one, and I think I am going to get rid of this one just because I've had it for so long, but I do think I probably would enjoy it if I actually gave it time, but I just don't have the time to give it to it. You get it? Like it's so long. That is The Little Friend by Donna Tartt, and this thing is massive. Like, even the book itself is huge. I did read quite a bit of this, but it's almost like reading A4 pages. Like, it's so big. And it wasn't grabbing me, and I think I bought it in the hopes that it would just be secret history again, and it wasn't. And I have had this probably touching on about 6 or 7 years now, and I still haven't actually managed to get through it. So it's going back to the charity shop where it came from. I'm not looking forward to having to carry this one. The last one, speaking of being well and truly in a thriller mood, I have not been in a proper thriller mood for a long time. Not like a crime thriller. I'm still really into like CJ Tudor and like the more horror-y leaning thrillers, like psychological thrillers, but crime thrillers, I haven't really read and enjoyed a crime thriller in a very long time. So I'm slightly unsure why I actually have this. This is David Baldacci's A Minute to Midnight. I have no interest in this whatsoever. Why did I buy it? I don't know. People love David Baldacci, so I'm sure whoever ends up taking this home will have a very nice time with it. I think this is the last bit. I do have a few more books in the bedroom, but I really can't be bothered to go through this right now. And there's not that many, and in all honesty, I'm keeping a lot of them because they're really pretty. Whatever. From the last shelf, we have a couple of these are maybes, but most of them are get rid. One is called The Good Mother by Karen Osman. I don't know where I got this from. I don't think I bought it, so I think I was given it. Feels like a standard just thriller. I'm just not in that mindset right now. And I can't see myself reaching for it in the future, so bye. Next up, this is definitely a maybe because I heard so many good things about this. And I just didn't, I think I just forgot I had it. And I'm not really in the mood to read it right now, but I might be later. That is Vox by Christina Dolce. I don't know about this one. If you've read it, let me know. Would I like it? Should I keep it? I don't actually particularly know what it's about. But it came out at a similar time as The Power, and that was pretty good, though I did get rid of that. But I actually did enjoy it. Everyone kept saying it was like the next big thing after The Handmaid's Tale, and it was amazing, and it wasn't that for me. I think it just worries me whenever someone like compares it to The Handmaid's Tale. It's never quite as good as that. But yeah, if you like Vox, should I keep it? Because I'm going to put this one on the maybe pile for now. This one, I'm not going to lie, I've had this for ages. I think it's like a mystery, but like a proper classic styled mystery. It's called A Provence Mystery Murderous Mistral by Kay Rademacher. And I kept it because it was pretty, but I'm never going to read it, so it's going. Another one that I really thought I would like, and I did actually buy it from Oxfam, so I guess I'm just going to take it right back. That is Milkman by Anna Burns. It's an Irish novel. I didn't really connect with it. I didn't dislike it, but I have read it, and I'm not likely to pick it up again, so bye. This next one, last time I did an unhaul, I nearly got rid of it and talked myself out of getting rid of it. But I still haven't read it, and I think I did my last unhaul like a year or so ago and I still haven't even thought about this book, so that's why it's going, and that is Welcome to Night Vale by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner. It looks really cool. I have got like a fair way through it. It's just, I don't know, it's one of those like weird shit equals good sci-fi, and that's just not true. So it's going, no matter how cool it makes me look to own it. The next one is The Guilty One by Lisa Valentine. Not sure where I got it from, never going to read it. Next up is The Hunt for Red October by Tom Clancy. I don't like Tom Clancy. I'm unsure why I own this. Yeah, no, I don't know why I own it. So that's obviously going. And finally, this isn't even mine, this is my other half's, but he just marched in and was like, get rid of that one. It is Judas Unchained by Peter F. Hamilton. I don't know what this is about. I'm guessing it's sci-fi. Cover's pretty cool. It's way too big, way too big. This is so intimidating. It's like 1,200 pages long. No, don't have time for that. So that's going as well. Okay, so we have 25 books exactly to take to the charity shop. We'll see how strong I am. Yeah, this is pretty cathartic actually. I definitely think I recommend it. Going through the books. Pretty much if any of mine have been on a list to read, or I've read them, or I somehow own 2 of them for longer than like a few years, I definitely get rid of them because they're just forever going to slip to the bottom of the pile and I'm never going to get round to them. So off to take these to find a new home. Okay, that's all from me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please do give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel. Another quick note about my newsletter. Please sign up if you're interested in hearing about One Road In. I'll be releasing it in August. I don't have the date yet, but I will let you know when I do. And I'm really excited for you all to read it. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next week with another video. Bye!